Bob Walsh, Smallwood Court. I want to pass out a document to each member, and then I will discuss what's on this a few minutes later. The topic is the community garden at the United Methodist Church. Early in 2010, a series of articles appeared in the Eccentric and Eagle newspapers regarding a community garden. Sounds like a good project. A lot of interest would be generated. I called Mr. Wilson to see if he was aware of it, and yes, he was. So we went back and forth over the last couple of years. And April 15th of 2010, at a Parks and Recreation Board, Matt Roman, who is the driving force behind the community garden, appeared in front of the board and asked for permission to put a community garden in the front of Beverly Park to the west of the children's playground, play equipment. Needless to say, the Parks and Rec members were not too enthused about it. So he came back a second time and wanted to put it somewhere in the baseball parks. And at that time, the board said there are some deed restriction possibilities. Please check out, and we will. Matt Roman came back July 15th of 2010 and announced that he had a location at the United Methodist Church at 13 Mile and Evergreen. Going forward, May 25th, 2011, at a planning board meeting, and I will read some comments from that. This is May 25th, 2011. It's under administration comments. Wilson informed the board that a community garden had gone in on the grounds of the Methodist Church at 13 Mile and Evergreen Roads. A fence that does not meet code was erected without a permit. Village staff had had some discussion with Matt Roman, director of the community garden program. Roman provided the village with a drawing of a garden, including a fence, last fall. He was told that a permit was required before a fence could be erected. The community garden group may go before the ZBA to request a variance for the fence. Moving forward to July 11th, 2011, Zoning Board of Appeals. And the appeal at that time was to have a fence in the side yard. What was left out of the appeal was materials that you couldn't have and not have. In this case, we're talking about plastic, which is not allowed on any fence in Beverly Hills. That was left out of the appeal. Now, it was discussed at the Zoning Board of Appeals, and they decided by a 6-3 margin to deny the request. At that time, it's been denied. Now, going forward, we have a permit that has been issued in September of 2011, 2 months after the denial by the Zoning Board of Appeals of this proposal. And before you is that permit that was issued. And it goes into detail. It's a 48-inch post with plastic critter guard backing, and that's true. If you look at it, if you've ever driven by it, you'll see that it is fact plastic, and it's 4 feet tall, and it is not in the backyard. The posting under the ordinance is in the backyard with no plastic. This is in the side yard with plastic. So whether, it doesn't matter where you put a plastic on a fence, it's not allowable. But this one is in the side yard, it's still there, it was approved 2 months after the Zoning Board of Appeals denied it. Now the option from a zoning board decision is, and Mr. Mercer knows this, you can come back to the zoning board with a major change, they'll review it, or you can comply. You move the fence back to what is allowed under the ordinance. In this case, they did not move the fence, but also the plastic would not be allowed even if it conformed to a backyard requirement. So we've got a major violation out here that was signed. And if you look on the second page, you'll see a diagram of where the fence is at. It's well into the side yard. That's the way it was originally. That is the way it is today. Now, you'll note that it was signed by Building Inspector Dan Murray. Two things about that. Whoever Dan Murray is does not know the Beverly Hills zoning ordinances, nor was he aware that this proposal was denied 2 months earlier. Now going forward, again, this is in September direct. We go to the October 11th zoning board meeting. At that time, they approved the minutes of the July meeting. Now it's official that the applicant has 30 days to file an appeal to the Oakland County District Court. There is no jurisdiction, there is no legal jurisdiction allowed by any of the community itself. So in essence, we've had a permit signed which should have never been signed because it violated one of the ordinance. It's violated the state statute regarding zoning board of appeals. And let me read. Let's see what we have here. This is October 11, 2011. It's under management comments. Chris Wilson informed the board that Matt Roman, representing Beverly Hills Garden, has been in communication with village attorney Tom Ryan to determine how to bring the fence surrounding the garden into compliance with the ordinance. The garden is located on the Beverly Hills United Methodist property at 13 Mile and Evergreen. Mr. Ryan approved the solution proposed by Matt Roman involving the enclosure of the side door of the building facing Evergreen Road. It is the interpretation of Mr. Ryan that this would bring the fence in compliance with the village ordinance. A permit has been submitted and approved. Roman was aware that the action would be taken at today's zoning board meeting to approve the July 2011 meeting minutes. This would require the fence to be brought into compliance within 30 days. When that happens, the village will consider this matter to be resolved. None of this happened. There is no side door for one reason, and the fence is well into the side yard, as I mentioned. It also has plastic material attached to it, which again is a violation. Now, the fact that the 30 days is come and gone is that we now have a violation of a state statute. And that is under Act 110 of 2006, Zoning Board of Appeals. And the section I'll refer to is Section 125.3605, decision as final, appeal to circuit court. At this time, that is the only option that this group has. Either they go to Oakland County Circuit, or they take that fence down, move the wooden portion to the backyard, and remove all of the plastic materials. It's very limited. It's a violation of the state statute if they continue forward. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention. It's been sitting out there, and that fence has been sitting there, hasn't changed. They put it up probably on a weekend without a permit, and just total disregard for administration and the citizens of the village. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Is there any other?
Finally, I heard the comments of Mr. Walsh regarding the fence. I agree that there is a fence and a church and a community garden. Outside of that, I think I disagree with pretty much everything else he said. I don't think there's a major violation. There's certainly no violation of state statute. I think his analysis of the case is just somewhat different, but I won't respond here. I will respond in writing, probably in my next manager's report, an update of where I feel the case stands with any input as necessary by Mr. Ryan.